Today we're going to make the most delicious double lemon cake. Not only is this recipe super easy because we're going to be using a cake mix as the base for our cake, but you won't believe how much lemon flavor we get into this homemade lemon buttercream frosting. I'll show you that and an easy trick to make box mixed cakes seem like they came from a professional bakery. Let's go ahead and get started. And for our cake mix, either the lemon, vanilla, or golden butter will work best. I like the golden butter personally. Whichever kind we choose, we simply want to prepare this as directed except for the addition of one key thing, which is about 2 tablespoons of freshly grated lemon zest. You could substitute lemon oil, I suppose, but we're going to need some lemon juice later anyway, so just go ahead and buy a bag of lemons. We don't need any special equipment. One of these small graters will be fine. Just try not to go too deep or it could rind up a little bitter. Now it's time to grab our whisk and engage in a little bit of battery until our cake mix is nice and smooth. Now here's the part where I'm going to share an easy trick to get some bakery style results without much extra effort. You might have heard of cake strips or cake bands that are supposed to be wrapped around the cake to stop them from doming on top. Well, instead of cake bands, we're using extra cake pans. We have an 8-inch and a 9-inch cake pan. I actually think this works better than the bands and strips because it protects not only the sides from browning too quickly, but the bottoms as well. But you don't have to take my word for it. I'll show you with this real quick demonstration. We want to measure out ahead of time how much water we need in this pan. For me, I needed about 1 cup. And to show you what I mean, we're going to bake the same batter, one in the double pans and one in a regular pan. We can see they look pretty similar while they're baking, but the magic comes after they're cool enough to handle. The one on the left here is the one that baked just in the pan by itself, and as you can see, it stuck a little to the bottom here, but that's probably my fault. I could have floured these pans. But you see how the outer crust is really brown compared to the rest of the cake? That's fine, it might even have a little extra flavor, but it's not going to be as tender. But let's set that one aside and have a look at the cake pan that cooked in our double pan setup. To me, it looks about the same on top, but it comes out of the pan a whole lot easier, and wow, look at that. It's completely soft and tender all around the sides and the bottom. Whereas with cake strips, it only protects the sides, not the bottom like that. It might seem like a relatively small thing, but when you're serving and your fork just cuts through there with no resistance instead of hitting that little bit of crust, you'll thank me. But now that we've done that little bit of cake science, it's time for the icing on top, literally. And as the base of that, we want the highest quality butter we can get our hands on. Don't skimp here or it could churn out badly. And to that, we want to add about another 2 tablespoons of lemon zest. We just want to add that to our 1 cup of room temperature butter, and we'll go ahead and start whipping this on medium speed. We don't have to go too crazy with this step, just until it's combined and the butter lightens up a little, and then we'll start spooning in about 4 cups of confectioner sugar. We can do this in batches if we like, but I just like spooning it in as everything is running. Once all of our sugar is incorporated, we want to take a quick break to do a final scrape down. And then last but definitely not least, we want 1/4 cup of fresh squeezed lemon juice. Not only does that add amazing flavor, but that acidity is really going to brighten up the flavor of our cake. We'll just continue whipping that on medium to high speed until it's fully incorporated. We can add a little extra sugar if we need to, but for me this was just perfect. It's soft and silky and perfectly spreadable for our delicious lemon cake. So let's grab a heaping spatula full and go ahead and spread our zest for life. I really hope you've enjoyed today's episode. If you have, don't forget to give me a thumbs up below, subscribe, and hit that little bell so you don't miss our future videos. And check out one of my other great recipes on the screen now. This has been Graham with a passion for food.